morning. How's everybody doing today?
Woo!
That's the energy we need after last night, man. Thank you all for coming to check this out today. We really appreciate y'all spending your Saturday with us today. I am Deanna, I'm Texas Boo Crew. We have Christine here as my other half.
Hello. Hi, Christine!
We're dragging a little bit today, so please forgive us. We were at the Texas jailhouse last night, the old Anderson County Jail. Has anybody else been there before? No? Oh, okay, you're gonna have to check it out. They're here today, they'll be up later. We had quite an evening last night, so if you do follow us, you may have seen our live last night that we did at the jailhouse. I know Jeremy was streaming it on their page, and we kind of shared it too, so if you have a chance today, please go check that out on our Facebook page. So last night, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what happened. We had so much activity last night, it was crazy. We had rope lights, we had things coming through our portal and Spirit Box. Has anybody used a portal before? Spirit Box combo? I see Tay. Nobody else? All right. Has anybody done an investigation here before? I know you guys. Anybody else done investigations before?
Been a long one.
Nobody? Okay, all right. Well, I will say, if you make it over here to this table, it looks like Tim has a lot of equipment set out. You need to check it out. If you don't know what it is, ask questions, learn about it. It's very interesting. We have a lot of fun. Chuck, the guy that just introduced me, Mudrat's Mud Pit, I can get your name out there. We pair up with him quite often. We also have MF Paranormal in the house today too. Tay back there. We've collaborated with everybody. And I'm not going to discount Sharon S back there giving readings today. Please make your way back there and get a reading. She's amazing. So first I wanted to start off, take a few questions from you guys. What kind of questions do you all have about what we do or what we use when we go out in the field? Yes.
I've got a question. So the one thing that we usually find, and we're just getting into, below amateur. We don't have any equipment, anything like that. We're just interested in it because the whole family's interested in it. But how do you find the locations and then get the permission to go in and set up and film? And because I understand a lot of people don't want anything filmed at their places or.
There's a few of those, absolutely. A lot of ours came through networking. So we started attending events like this. We have one that we have attended the last few years in Jefferson, Texas. If you haven't been there, you need to check that one out too. Really a lot of fun, a lot of people, a lot of speakers, authors of books, and just networking, really getting our name out there. We started getting invited to these places. Everybody has rules though, right? So there are places that they say you can't use certain equipment, or you can't video here, or maybe you can video,
like Seguin.
Seguin, yes. You can maybe take a video, but when you post it, you cannot say this is where I was, and things like that. So highly encourage you to pay attention to those rules because you can get in a lot of legal trouble otherwise. I know Mineral Wells, the whole town is kind of like that too, if you've ever been out there. But if you're following a lot of the paranormal pages on social media, you'll see the places that we go. Just look around for those pages, especially here locally in Texas. You'll find a lot of places that we go to. So, is there anything specifically, like any places that you've heard of that you'd like to go to?
No, not in particular. Like I said, we're just getting into it, and but we want to, either all in or nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's we're not going to quit our jobs and go do this.
Right. We all have full-time jobs, so this is our weekend hobby, really.
Yeah, that's more of what we want, and maybe the stuff that's not so commercialized or we want, because we've done a couple, like we've been to Mineral Wells and we did I think it's the Hill House in Mineral Wells.
Yeah, Haunted Hill House.
And we've been to the Screaming Bridge, I think it is, at Legacy Park in Dallas.
Okay.
But both times, the experience that we had as far as just dealing with normal, everyday people, it has not been very pleasant.
Okay.
We had a lot of rambunctious.
Yeah. So, Texas Book Group, we actually do take out small groups. So we keep it small, that way you get the experience, because we've been in large groups before. And to be quite honest, it wasn't a lot of fun. I mean, it was a cool place to check out. We went down to Victoria's Black Swan Inn on our first one, actually. But there was probably, how many people would you say over there?
About 75.
Yeah, I'd say 60 to 80, somewhere in that range. You can't investigate when people are having side conversations and, you know, doing their own thing. So I encourage you, look at our page. We do advertise like, hey, we're taking a small group out here, you know, and you can private message us to get those details and costs and everything like that. But yeah, and you'll see the places that we go. You can scroll for days on our page, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were talking about equipment. You don't have a lot of equipment yet?
No, we don't have any equipment.
Okay, but you know, we started out small. EMF detectors were probably the first thing we looked at. You know, you can buy a spirit box online for relatively cheap too. So those two things right there, cat balls are easy, they're cheap, you know, just a few small things, and then start building on that. And there's websites online, Ghost Stop, St. Augustine, Paranormal. There's a lot of places you can, I even found stuff on Amazon, so yeah, easy. So, what other questions do we have out there? Anybody? All right.
What's been your favorite investigation spot?
Oh, my favorite investigation spot. That's a hard one. You know, I would say Haunted Hill House, a lot of activity. Really active.
I hear they put speakers in the wall.
That's a myth. But there's a lot of activity there. The Gel House, though, we've been there a few times, and it's always a blast. We have an amazing time there. Jeremy's great. He just walked in, by the way. I'm trying to say hi, Jeremy. Hi, Jeremy! Yeah, he's setting up new stuff for investigators that need to come out so that we can go live. And we were actually taking questions online and answering and doing a spirit box session and dowsing rods at the same time. And it was really cool. You got to go back and look at it. He's got it on his page, Texas Gel House. So we like to use a combination of equipment too. So you get like a double validation. So we have like rope lights, if you're familiar with those. Does anybody know what that is?
I'm sorry, a what?
A rope light. Have you heard of it?
Tripwire.
Tripwire. They're called different things, but essentially, he's got one right there. It's a cord with lights attached to it that react to EMF field. So they're purple, and then they light up different colors when something interacts with it. So we'll use that. Christine's really good at dowsing rods. And then I tend to use the spirit box a lot. I have a portal with it that I can take out like the extra noise on it. Are you familiar with the spirit box?
I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. Do you ever watch any of the ghost hunter shows or anything like that? Okay.
I do.
Okay. I'll use this as an example. Zach Bagans, he's always got a little thing that he hears. You hear like a noise, and then he hears a word come through it. It's basically a radio that scans the radio stations at a rapid pace. We have a white noise that they can manipulate and come through. And so we ask questions, we get responses out of that. And so we find that when we pair a couple different pieces of equipment in use at the same time, sometimes you get that double validation, and that's really cool. So it's not just one thing saying this, it's like, oh, okay, something must be here, everything's going off, you know? So try that out too. It's a lot of fun. But we were using that last night. We had it in one of the gel cells, actually, and it was going off like crazy. So I think a couple people got touched last night. Christine got her hair pulled. Yeah, things like that do happen. If you're not down for that, you just state your intentions clearly when you're in there. You're not allowed to touch me. And we always encourage, bring sage or something. You don't want anything following you home. So pray, whatever your method is. People have had stuff follow them home, and that's an interesting thing. So, yeah, I think when we did Cleveland, the depot at Cleveland, yeah, a couple nights later, I'm laying in bed and I'm hearing someone talking, and I'm like, oh, okay then. So, yeah, I don't think we staged that night, so it was on me, right? But interesting. So, has anybody had any paranormal experiences out here that have you intrigued to come to these events? Did you have anything weird happen? No? I'm like, is nobody at that table? They're like, nope. That's okay. Do y'all have interest in like going on events and stuff, like going to investigations? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Have y'all done it before?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of places have y'all been?
We do history haunts and legends twice a year.
Yes.
And we have stayed at the Jefferson, the Excelsior House, the Pride House before it burned.
Oh.
The Claiborne House.
Okay.
We just recently rented a house for this.
For the fall? We'll be there. You'll see us there.
And, I've done a conference, it was in Midlothian, I think, or Cleveland. I think I went to one that has.
Oh, yeah, we were there.
It was like the very first.
The Parapalooza,
It was the
yeah.
very first one they had.
I don't know if there's maybe a second, but
Well, they've had two, but the third one, if it does happen, will be down in San Antonio.
Okay,
Yeah.
the guy,
Robbie,
is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unknown Ventures.
Yes,
yeah.
and so, of course, every time we go somewhere, we try to stay somewhere that is haunted. And we
Absolutely.
do all the ghost tours. We just did the Crescent, and then we did the midnight tour of the basement and the morgue and,
Nice.
so.
That's awesome.
We're interested, but we don't know enough about it we have a little Facebook group.
Okay.
It's not shared. We call ourselves the Boo Hunters.
Okay.
And so, but it's just us friends that are in it. It's
Yeah.
a family that like to go.
Absolutely.
Um,
That's how it
but
starts.
she and I are really interested in it, but we don't know enough about it to have a group.
Yeah. You know what? Something I want to tell you guys. Groups, sometimes they come and go. I mean, we started out with 8 people. It's just me and Christine now, to be honest. A lot of different points of view, right? So hard to make a decision on where to go and what to do. So we just narrowed it down to the 2 of us. We've been friends for 25 years. So we've had a lot of experiences together. We were roommates at one time, and we'd come into that house and all the cabinet doors in the kitchen would be open, and had a weird experience sitting watching TV late one night, and a huge bucket of nails and screws just fell in our laundry room, just out of the blue, weird. So I think we both had separate experiences before that, but that was like one of the things we were like, oh, this is real, something's going on. So we've only been doing this for a few years though,
Yeah.
so it evolves, you know. Do you guys have equipment of your own?
I'm sorry.
Do you have your own equipment?
We have some.
What do you got?
I have the EF meters, I have the spirit box, I have, 2 sets of, I don't know, I call them my witching sticks.
dowsing rods,
So
yeah.
My husband calls them my witching switches.
How do those work for you?
I think they work really well for me, but I do know people that they don't work for.
Yeah. You need to go talk to that lady at my table,
That's
Christine.
kind of weird because I've seen people hold them and they just never move, or they just, do their own thing.
That's me.
I,
They don't work for everybody.
no, they don't work for everybody, and I think there's an energy that you feel when you're using them.
Absolutely.
If they do work for you, because that's what I said, there's an energy,
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't feel anything.
That's me.
There's an energy that you can feel, but yeah, I was wondering, like, if we came today, we were gonna find out if any places, here locally that have been reported as haunted? Any places that you could go?
Local, like, is in what? How far out from here?
You know, I don't know, we've gone as far as Mineola. We've
Okay.
stayed at that hotel there.
Yeah, Tim's probably gonna know a lot more about the local stuff right here, but,
Goshen, I mean, cause I don't live too far from Goshen, so we did Goshen, and I'm a big, but my thing also with the paranormal is, I wanna know the history.
oh, yeah,
That's where a lot of people get, because I'm all like, okay, what's the history of this land,
right,
and then the building?
absolutely.
Who haunts it? Why is it haunted? What makes it haunted? Why would someone wanna haunt it? Why haven't they moved on? I wanna know just going somewhere and say, oh, it's haunted, that's not enough for me. I wanna know who, why, when, where. I
So-
wanna know it all.
Yeah, some of that, you're gonna be able to find out before you go into the place, right?
Yes.
Some of that, you're just gonna
And
get in
then some
there and
people
figure
say,
it
well, I
out.
don't wanna know. I think I talked to you about that. You said you didn't wanna know before you went to, or what do y'all, oh,
Yeah,
you don't wanna know.
It's not, because I have the ability to be able to communicate, see, and hear spirits.
Right.
And I like to go to places, which I've done for many years, to go in there to see what I'm able to pick up on.
And then.
And then I'll do the research.
And I don't have
on it,
that
see how
ability,
much
so-
of it confirms.
Right, so I wanna know
yeah, absolutely.
why. Because I don't think every old building is haunted,
Right,
but
you never know. I
it
mean,
may creak, but that doesn't mean that it's haunted.
that's right, that's when you gotta do your best
That's
debunking.
why I wanna know the why.
Right, absolutely. So, do you have a spirit box? Are you familiar with that?
Well, I have the little one, it's
Okay.
like the little radio type.
Is it the gray one or the black and red
It's
one?
black,
Okay, that's a good one, actually.
yeah,
Are you familiar with a portal?
no.
Okay. He's got one over here to look at, but basically you plug your spirit box into it and it helps take out that white noise so you hear your EVPs clearer. You might find more information doing stuff like that, you know? Just, some people really love to hear the history before they go in. Some other people, like Sharon back there, she is a medium. She doesn't want to know a lot of stuff before she goes in because she wants to figure it out too. So,
And I have a problem with, I don't have a problem, but I have disagreed with child ghosts.
okay.
I don't believe in children.
You don't believe in children ghosts?
No.
Okay. Can I ask why?
Because I think children, if a child passes, they are automatically in the arms of Jesus.
Okay.
Because I am a Christian.
Yeah, same.
I think that if you experience a child ghost, it's probably more demonic.
Okay.
Because I feel like a demon will use a child's image, especially on a woman, because we have that maternal instinct
Yeah.
to draw you in.
Yeah. I get that.
And I don't know about, I just don't think that there's child ghosts. I just think that I think they go on to heaven. I don't think there's any in between for them.
You know, I love that you're certain about that, and I love it. For me, it's hard to say because there's so much unknown to this field, especially, and it's hard to say. You know, I try to stay objective when it comes to making a hard decision on something like that personally, because I never know what I'm going to come across, right? And we don't have all the answers. We weren't meant to know all the answers. So with Texas Boo Crew, we gather the evidence and we present it to you guys to make your own decision. And if you disagree with what we say or think, that's okay. Everybody has their own way to, you know, view it, right? So,
And I'm not saying there's not, I'm just saying I like to believe that there's not.
well, I'd like to believe that too.
Because-
Because that's the sad thing, right? For a
Right.
child to be stuck, earthbound in
Yes.
spirit form.
And I just think that, you know, and I've just convinced myself and I don't wanna mess with demons.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, absolutely. So the places that you go, what do you do after you investigate? Do you sage? Do you pray? What do you do?
I always pray.
Absolutely.
We have sage before whenever we did,
that was the first time we'd ever staged was when we did the Tyler. When we were in Tyler, they staged.
And there's different views on stage too, you know, so some people are like, that's just a native thing, I'm Christian, that doesn't work, but again, more things that we don't know. I've had a little bit more experience lately with trying some crystals. Oddly enough, I had an attachment recently, she's still hanging out, I'm not really sure why or what she's here for. But Chuck actually had a crystal. You're gonna have to remind me the name of that thing.
I couldn't tell you what kind of crystal. It was given to me by one of the psychics and said that it was a protection crystal and it would help you.
Yeah, so we were in Jefferson at the Paranormal conference last year, okay, in the fall. And I had just been to my sister's in Alabama and I felt a little something funny in her house. Just kind of rolled it off, right? I typically feel a little something here sometimes. So told my mom about it, didn't think anything of it. We come back to Texas. We go to Ballinger to the Old Park Hotel. And I was sitting in a room with Sharon, our medium here, in the dark with some meters out on the bed, and oh, thank you. I started getting touched. Our meters are going off. I caught an EVP, didn't realize it until later. But I'm like, I'm getting touched. She says, so am I. Okay, that's weird. Let's move on. It didn't feel threatening, so later that night, I went out and I staged. It didn't work. So she's still hanging out, going strong. But what the weird thing is, when we were in Jefferson, he had another form of this crystal. He got one in ghosty form. I think it's really cute, guys. I don't know who got this form, but I love it. He gave me the crystal, and as soon as I touched it in my hands, everything stopped. I was like, that's weird. Okay, so now I'm like kind of experienced, you know, seeing what do crystals actually do for me. I'm not really sure. You know, like you, my stuff's in Jesus, so I always tell them, I said, don't be alarmed. If we're in the middle of an investigation, I feel threatened, I'm calling on his name. I don't care. So
That's right.
but not everybody feels the same way, and that's okay. That's their decision, right?
And I will pray before going in.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
dear Lord, please don't, because I'm not wanting to really take anybody home. I'm
Right.
not wanting to raise the dead.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to.
And
It has their place.
I had a little ghost boy in my house one time that lived to put my dog in the middle of the night and scared the you know what out of me. And I had a really sensitive friend that came over. She said, oh, his name is Jacob. He was here like in the wagon train days, and he passed away from something like smallpox, and they had to bury him and move on. He just wants to know where his mom's at. I said, well, I ate his mama. And please do not have him come to me in the middle of the night, because I can't do it. So, some, you know, weird things like that have happened. But she said, if you don't want to see that, you just pray that God doesn't let you see those things. And I did. And for years, I would talk to people that were sensitive or mediums or whatever spectrum they're on, and they would try to read me. And they're like, I can't read you. Do you have a block up? And I was like, yes, sir. Straight from Jesus, so. I'm working on that though. So I think I've let my guard down a little bit enough to experience stuff, because that's the fun part for me. But I think my time has come to an end. Does anybody have any last minute questions before I head out? Yes, ma'am.
What's your bucket list paranormal location?
I just did it.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I didn't talk about it. We just went there.
Did it?
Yeah. The Murdoch's Plantation in southern Louisiana, St. Francisville. Oddly enough, you're not going to believe this. You'll have to go to our Facebook page to see this video. We had frogs talking to us. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. We were doing an EVP session outside of our little cabin there on site, and Christine says, say my name, say Deanna's name, say anything. And we sat there in silence for a minute. We were talking about going over to a cemetery locally, and she goes, we're gonna go to the cemetery, say cemetery. And I kid you not, you hear a frog in the background go, cemetery. And we were like, what? We couldn't believe it. So you'll have to go see the video. But anyways, that's my time, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear it for Texas Boot Group, Deanna. All right, our next speaker won't be up here until 12 o'clock. So if you're still around, come back over and see us at 12 o'clock. Now, one thing I do want to mention, you'll see over on all those tables over there, these papers out there, this is for Till Gray. She is a author of several books for the North Texas area, like Haunted Denison, Haunted Denton, Haunted Hill House. She unfortunately has cancer. So she does have a GoFundMe. If you can find it in your hearts to leave anything, please do. It's on all the tables over there. You can scan it. But yeah, thank you very much for being here. Next speaker at 12.
Welcome to the mud pit.